Hi guys, my name's Medintseva and you are on my crochet channel. In this video we will continue to crochet this little Marshmallow Dragon. You will find a link to the first part in the description under the video. If you prefer to crochet with PDF pattern, you can purchase it from my Etsy shop. The link to the shop is also in the description under the video. I really look forward to your likes and comments under the video, so don't forget to do so. I wish you a creative mood and let's get started. Now I'll show you how to crochet the dragon's legs. The hook is the same, we make a loop and 2 chain stitches, and in the first stitch we make 6 single crochets. This is the first single crochet, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In the second row we make 6 increases. In each stitch we make 2 single crochets. At the end of the row there will be 12 single crochets. In the third row we make 12 single crochets. These 2 rows are done. Be sure to turn it right side out. In the fourth row we make 3 half double crochets together with 1 top. I think that's what it's called. Now I'll show you how it's crocheted. We made a yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch and grab the thread. Pull out the thread. We have 3 loops on the hook, but we don't crochet them. Make a yarn over again, insert the hook into the same stitch and grab the working thread. Pull out the thread. Now we should have 5 loops on the hook. We don't crochet them either. Yarn over again, insert the hook into the same stitch and grab the working thread. Pull out the thread. Now we have 7 loops on the hook. Now we need to crochet these 7 loops in one go. That is, we take the working thread and pull it through these 7 loops, like this. This is the kind of claw we should get. This is what the finished claws on the little yellow dragon look like. The big dragon's claws are made with white yarn. In this little dragon I decided to make the claws pink too. 1 claw is done. In the next stitch we make the usual 1 single crochet. In total we need to make 3 claws. We have already made 1 claw. Now in the next stitch we do the same one. Yarn over again and insert the hook into the next stitch. We pull out the working thread, but don't crochet it. Yarn over again and insert the hook into the same stitch. Pull out the thread, don't crochet it, and we yarn over the third time and insert the hook into the same stitch. Now we crochet all 7 loops at once. We have already made the second claw. In the next stitch we make 1 single crochet. You can see that we have 2 claws ready. The third claw is crocheted in exactly the same way. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, pull out the thread, yarn over, insert the hook into the same stitch, pull out the thread, yarn over again, insert the hook into the same stitch, pull out the thread. Now we crochet these 7 loops at a time. In the next stitch we make 1 single crochet. We have these 3 beautiful claws ready. To the end of the row we just need to make 6 single crochets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The fourth row with claws is done. In the fifth row we make 12 single crochets. I recommend putting a marker to control yourself and not make mistakes. 1 single crochet is done. This is the second single crochet. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I finished the row right next to the marker, so everything was done correctly. We squeezed the clothes from the inside, so that they stick out. We level everything out so that we get something as beautiful as mine. In the 6th row, we make 3 decreases at the beginning of the row. I'll put the marker aside for now. I repeat one more time. We make 3 decreases at the beginning of the row. After the first decrease, you can place a marker to mark the beginning of the row. This is the second decrease. And the third decrease. And 6 single crochets to the end of the row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. The 6th row is completed. In the 7th row, we make 2 decreases at the beginning of the row. You can also put a marker. You can also not put a marker. We can say that this is the last row in the dragon's leg. 2 decreases in a row are made. Until the end of the 7th row, we make 5 single crochets. Ready. Now we remove the hook to the side and add filler to the leg, and then we'll finish. You don't need to add a lot of filler to the leg. The leg should not be tight. This is how the dragon's leg turned out. Now we need to connect the top of the leg to close the hole. To do this, fold the upper part of the leg in half and make 3 single crochets. Fold in half so that the clothes are in front. Where we finished, we fold it in half. We insert the hook through the 2 parts of the leg. Grab the working thread and crochet the first single crochet. In the next stitch, we also insert the hook through the 2 parts of the leg. We need to close the hole. And we make the second single crochet. And in this stitch, we crochet the third single crochet. This is what the finished dragon's leg should look like. We cut the thread. Leave the end long enough to sew the leg to the body. You can see which end of the thread I leave. We just tighten the thread and do nothing else. Then we will use the thread to sew the leg to the dragon's body. This fun leg is ready for the baby dragon. I show you from all sides. In total we need 4 side paws. We crochet the remaining 3 ourselves. 4 legs for our Marshmallow Dragon are ready. Now we will sew the legs to the dragon's body. We need to decide where we will sew the legs. You can sew either lower or higher. I suggest sewing it lower so that the dragon seems to lie down. We sew it in this position at the same level. Somehow this is how it will be. I show it on the finished dragon. The hind legs are sewn near the tail. Only 1 row is skipped. There are 3 stitches between the front and back paws. In front, between the paw and the neck, 1 stitch is also skipped. By the way, on this side there are 2 stitches between the legs, therefore we skip 2 or 3 stitches. Everything still looks very beautiful and natural. Let's start sewing. Now you need to outline in which row, that is, at which level you need to sew the leg. I placed a marker as a guide. For sewing, I use a needle with a blunt end. We insert the needle in front, from the side of the head, and mark the front edge for sewing on the leg. And we also pull the needle through 3 stitches. In the last row in the leg, When we fold the leg in half, there were 3 single crochets. This is where we insert the needle, skip 3 stitches, and pull the needle out here. This is the position in which our first leg will be sewn. This is the front left leg. Pull out the needle and thread and pull up the leg. Insert the needle from the other edge of the leg to grab the leg to the body and completely determine the place for sewing. Check that everything is pleasant and beautiful. Now we sew the leg to the body. Let's move along this line. We alternately pull the needle through the leg and then through the body, and thus sew along the entire width of the leg. By the way, I noticed that I cut off quite a lot of thread, and it would be enough to sew on the second hind leg. For now, I'll leave it like that. Later, if necessary, I will come back and finish sewing. But even now it's holding up well. Here we skip 3 stitches, and approximately here we pull out the needle. Check that this is the same level. The legs should be sewn at the same level. And we will sew on the hind leg. I'm not touching the thread in this paw yet. I will sew with the thread that is already inserted into the needle. We insert the needle into the outermost stitch in the leg, then insert it into the body and pull it out through 3 stitches. We are moving along the same level. Be careful that the leg is sewn on correctly. The clothes should be on top. Grab the hind paw on this side and check that everything is smooth, symmetrical and to our liking. Everything is fine in my dragon. I like it, so I completely sew the paw to the dragon's body. There is nothing special to comment on here. I'm just showing how the leg is sewn to the dragon's body. This thread has already spoiled. Therefore, we thread this thread in the middle in the belly, no matter where exactly. Later, we will tie this end of the thread with the other end of the thread into a knot and hide it inside. You can see that the hind leg is not sewn well enough, so I use the untouched intact thread from this leg and stitch it one more time. Legs should hold up well. After that, we pull the end of this thread to this end of the thread and tie it into a knot. So we have 2 paws sewn on one side. Now, symmetrically, we sew the second 2 paws on the other side in exactly the same way. I'll count the number of stitches between the legs along the belly. I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 stitches at the back between the legs on the tail side. There are more here. Here are 10 stitches. On this side there are 10 stitches between the legs along the belly. From the side of the head between the paws there are 6 stitches along the belly. And there are approximately 9 stitches here. It is not very accurate to calculate, since increases were made in this row. I calculated this for you approximately as a guide. On the other side of the paw we sew it ourselves. All paws are sewn to the dragon's body. Those threads that remain after sewing are put into one stitch. Tie these threads into a knot and hide them inside. You can cut off the excess if you end up with long ends like mine. We insert the hook into the side of the body and pull it into the same stitch where the ends of the threads were. Grab the threads using a hook and hide them inside. This is the beauty we got. I'm showing you what a dragon looks like from below with its legs sewn on. This is the view from above. That is, we got a lion dragon. Everything is very beautiful. Let me count for you how many stitches there are between the paws. There are 3-4 stitches between the front legs from the side of the head. There are about 7 stitches between the front legs from the bottom edge. You can see that on the belly side the paws are sewn closer together. There are about 8 stitches in the middle between the hind legs, right here in the middle. This is how beautiful it turned out. I hope everything worked out for you too. Now we will crochet this main central crest. It's crocheted in place along the entire length. Insert the hook between the middle above the eyes and attach the thread. For some reason I can't insert the hook. Here it is, the hook is inserted in the middle between the eyes on their upper side. We grab the working thread, pull out the thread, and use this working thread to tie a knot. Pull up the free, non-working end of the thread. The thread is attached. It should look like a loop like this. From here we begin to crochet the crest. We insert the hook into the same stitch again, so that the crest starts as close to the eyes as possible. Now we need to make a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the stitch, grab the working thread and immediately pull it into the loop. The slip stitch is made. Let's continue further. Insert the hook into the next stitch and make one single crochet. That is, we pull out the thread and crochet one single crochet. The most important thing here is to control that we move in the middle. There is no clear row along which the crest is crocheted, since this is how the fabric is formed during crocheting. We will have to insert the hook a little to the left and a little to the right. Here you can see it on the finished dragon. One single crochet is done, let's continue. Now in the next stitch we need to make 1/2 double crochet. We make a yarn over, insert the hook into the nearest stitch where the thread came out and come out with the hook into the next stitch, and we make 1/2 double crochet. The 3 loops on the hook need to be crocheted in one go. Here we make 1 chain stitch, yarn over again. In the same stitch we make one more half double crochet. In the next stitch we need to make a slip stitch. We always check whether the crest is crocheted evenly or not. The slip stitch is made. Now in the next stitch we make one single crochet. And now we repeat the combination again. Yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch and make 1/2 double crochet. 1 chain stitch and 1/2 double crochet in the same stitch. I'll explain once again what combination we crochet in the crest. We will repeat this combination along the entire length of the crochet in the crest, that is, along the head, body and tail. Combination. First we make 1 slip stitch, then in the next stitch 1 single crochet, and then in one stitch we need to make 1/2 double crochet, 1 chain stitch and 1/2 double crochet. And we will repeat this combination until the end of the tail. Now, according to the pattern, we need to make a slip stitch. Insert the hook into the next stitch, grab the working thread and crochet 1 slip stitch. Tighten the threads. Now we insert the hook into the next stitch and make 1 single crochet. And now we need to make 1/2 double crochet in the same stitch. To do this, we make a yarn over, insert the hook into the next stitch, grab the thread, pull out the thread, crochet 3 loops at a time. Here we make 1 chain stitch and again 1/2 double crochet in the same stitch. And then we repeat our combination according to the pattern described above until the very end of the tail. This is how I managed to crochet the main crest on this dragon. I tried to move in the middle, but you can see that it doesn't always work out perfectly in the center. But even though the crest is not perfectly level, it's still very beautiful. I was able to finish the crest at the stage of slip stitch. At this stage we cut the thread. Leave the end long enough to sew on the heart. Here we simply pull out the thread and leave it in this state for now. From the side of the muzzle, insert the end of the thread into a needle with a blunt end and pull it to the underside of the head. Here I also want to grab this outer loop. And now we thread the thread to the underside of the head. We also leave the end of the thread in this state. Now let's make and sew on a heart. But we will do this in the next part. See you soon!